Hey, what's up, peoples? YouTube, Facebook is all y'all. This is an edition of Wyman Weekly. This week, I am driving on the road, so I'm multitasking. I got my little man back here. We just had a great audition call back, so on the way back, I'm filming this, kill two birds with one stone. But this week, it's really been on my heart, Wyman Weekly. I want to talk about the N-word. I took part in a brotherhood summit this past weekend where it was about 25 high school age kids from 14 to 18, and we were just talking about real social issues. And an interesting topic came up. There was a section where we had to write questions in, and the topic of the N-word came up. And it was very interesting to me because several of the students, and I remember when I was growing up, it was one of the things where if somebody said that to me, then I was ready to fight. Not because, and I guess it is because of what we were taught what I was taught that it meant. I didn't go through it. I experienced racial things, but it's just that the understanding of the N-word being said to me by a white person, a person that's not black, it was portrayed to mean something negative towards us. And that's still the case now. Here we are in 2018, these young men are still having the same thing. A couple of them are ready to fight because someone calls them that. Or not even calls them that, just says it. And even if it's in a song, even if it's just used, we're ready to fight and go to blows behind it. And so it really caused a great question to pop in my head. What is the solution to that word? Now, the word was created to demean black people, to devalue us, to tear us down, to invoke rage and all of that. And so we as black people have taken that word and we have rewritten it. We've made it a term of endearment. We've made it something to where we redefined what that word is. Now, the question that I posed to them, and I'm posing as well today, is what is the solution? What is our actual end game with that? Because do we want to totally redefine the word and strip that word of its power? And and is that even possible? It's kind of like a catch-22, because if we strip the word of its power, we make it to where what they meant it to be, it's not that. But yet, whenever someone uses it, not in that term, just in a rap song, or just if two white people are saying, yeah, my nigga, and we get offended by it, aren't we still giving that word its power? What is the solution? How do we really get over that word? And the challenge that I'm facing is that it seems like in order to really get over that word, we must get comfortable with the idea or with the notion that it is just another word. Otherwise, we are going to continue to, after it's 300 years later, and that word still had just as much power as it had 300 years ago. Because no matter how good you're doing, if someone not even says it in a derogatory term, but just mentioning the word itself, it puts us in a tiff. It still has its power. So do we really want to strip that word of its power? Or what is that we want to do as a race of black people? That's the question that I'm posing. Because the reality is, in order to strip it of its word, strip it of its power, we have to, quote unquote, be willing to turn a page on that word, put it down, and forget about all the ugliness behind it. So, and for our generation, it's too late. For people that are living now, it's too late. But for the next two generations, they can hear the word and it just be literally a term of endearment. But we have to be willing to turn the page on what it was. And then secondly, what I tell people is we live in a day and age where we have a lot of wolf in sheep's clothing. And I would rather have a wolf in wolf clothing. I would rather the word be out there. I would rather the word be a regular everyday word where it doesn't affect me because I know I'm not what the word is meant to be when it, used in its original raw text. So I would rather know that somebody really sees me that way. So I'm dealing with a wolf in wolf's clothing versus a wolf in sheep's clothing by not allowing that word to be said. So just a little bit of awareness. I'm curious. What is the solution? To me, I'm like, we should not take the word, not let the word invoke so much effect on us. Because at the end of the day, since slavery ended, since slavery happened, there has been a way of controlling and affecting black people. And this word is just another evidence and avenue for that. If someone knows that they can enrage you by calling you that, they can see you smiling, they can see you happy, they can see you having a great time, and they call you that word, and now you're affected, not them. And words are a big avenue of control and attack. That's why the other video I mentioned, it wasn't the physical, it was the mindset that they were attacking when they were trying to enslave us. This is the same thing. As long as they can say that word and evoke some kind of response in us, they still have some type of control over us. So we have to get to a place to where we are getting numb to that word, or we get resistant to that word, to where we have to strip that word of its power. We have to. That's literally what has to happen, because there's not a word that can define that can be said to any other race that would make them get in such an emotional tiff as that word does for us. And it does us no good to keep that word into effect and into play. So just awareness creating, I feel like we must get to a place of understanding that we are not that word. That word is outdated. That word was meant for a use. And if someone uses that word, hey, thank them for showing you who they truly are, instead of allowing it to frustrate you and cause you to do something that's going to affect your future. A lot of students, they were talking about ready to fight somebody. I was like, when you fight, what's going to happen? They say that word. Now you fight, you're suspended, you're labeled, you're going to jail, you are affected, your future's affected. And so they literally can sacrifice. They can have a well-meaning brother, black man who's out to do well, and they want to thwart him, so they send a sacrifice, just some hillbilly country whatever white person to go out there and call him that, to cause a reaction, and now he's thwarted. So we have to get immune. We have to get numb to that word. We have to strip that word of its power. That's my take. I want to hear what y'all think. Comment, message me, let me know what y'all think, and keep the ideas coming at me too, because I'm want to keep the topics coming for these videos. I think this is a real good one that should be discussed. I'm Wyman. This is Wyman Weekly. I'm out.